Markets falling apart. COVID-19 exploding. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Daily Update for, actually it's Bubba's Bottom Line, not Daily Update, for Sunday, March the 15th. And of course, wow, for a tax day, I don't know. Are they going to make us pay taxes now? Or are they going to give us a little bit of a tax holiday? I don't know. I don't know. I sent my check in today for my March payment. I don't know. I hope maybe they won't cash it so fast. But in the meantime, obviously, markets imploded last week, and the stories around the coronavirus exploded. I guess the real question is will there be will we be under martial law for a week or two? Will they shut it down and force everybody to stay in their homes for 2 weeks to try to quarantine this thing out? I mean, the demand for toilet paper is at record highs. It's amazing. I was talking to a doctor, and a guy said, a guy bought 144 rolls of toilet paper, and I said, if he needs that much for a couple of weeks, he's got bigger problems than the coronavirus. But in the meantime, I said last week, and I've said, a couple times, that I didn't think it was all that serious, and I don't know that it is all that serious. However, it is creating a major fear and panic throughout the world, and we've already seen Italy's closed down completely, and now France, Israel, other countries are shutting the doors. And I guess the simplest solution here would be to actually go into a forced 2-week shutdown of everything, other than the absolute bare essentials, like on a grocery store, drugstores, whatever, and actually have almost like martial law for a period of time. 2 weeks, I think, is the number. And of course, that would kind of put this all to bed. Again, I don't know how real serious it is, but but the panic is serious. Okay. And so that is the big thing here. I mean, even, going to visit my mom, I visit her every day, and now they're giving me a hard time about visiting her at the apartment center she lives at. It's, elderly apartment complex. So again, obviously a lot of fear. It hasn't changed what I do. Of course, I don't go out much to begin with, but, I took my son out to dinner the other night, and there was me and him and nobody else in the staff. Okay. So obviously there's a tremendous amount of panic around. We're seeing it. Again, is it warranted? I have no idea. Okay. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to pretend to know, but from the pure statistical numbers that I have, okay, to me, it's the same as the flu. But again, I have no idea. And I'm just saying that for the health and welfare of the mental state of everybody here and everybody around the globe, shut it down, quarantine the world, stop everything, put it on hold for a couple of weeks, and I think that would take care of everything. But in the meantime, President Trump was tested, and he is negative. Of course, who would have figured him to get the virus anyways? He works 20 hours a day, is always around, and hasn't had any health issues yet. He's 70 something and runs around like he's 16. So we'll see. We'll see what it goes on. But in the meantime, obviously did have some dramatic effects on many things. And of course, you could look at the airline industry. They're shutting down flights one after another. And this is a terrible time for the airlines to have trouble. We went from the Boeing crisis, okay, to the coronavirus crisis. So again, that's a pretty devastating thing, which is why you see American Airlines down under $15. Where you see Boeing been cut in been cut by about 2/3 since its high, and half in the last few weeks, from 335 to 165. So again, whatever it is, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, whether it's real serious or real not serious, it's real serious to the economy. Okay. So, and that, listen, for months, we have mentioned on this program that we are in the early stages of a recession, and we needed something that was going to trigger the next part. And obviously it now is going to be the coronavirus, COVID-19, that has triggered the major problems. And of course, we had big slowdowns before. They've now magnified and become front and center. But I think if you would have put them front and center to begin with, before this even started, we might have been able to resolve it ahead of time. And again, this is our backwards Federal Reserve ignorance thinking of how the economy works, which again, they are clueless. They have no idea how the economy even works. All they know is that if they create more money, or they keep dipping into yours and mine pocket, taking away our dollars through issuing secondaries on our money, that we'll pay for it anyway. So what difference does it make? Well, it makes a lot of difference to me. I'm sick and tired of it. Now, again, there's nothing I can do about it, but certainly, I mean, they totally have no idea. And of course, we're going to see rates cut once again. Okay. I think we're going to probably zero, which we said last week, and it's certainly headed that way. I mean, supposedly, based on the Fed funds rate, there's a full point cut coming, another one. So that puts us at zero or close to. I don't know. Again, I think that's a mistake. I think you look at these demand for money, and of course, getting a mortgage or getting a loan from a bank is next to impossible at these levels, because they're not making a big enough spread from their lending rate, from their borrowing rate. So, but the third party usury types of lenders, now we won't call them usury, but they're 6, 7, 8%. They're flourishing. They've never been busier, and they get even the better deal is the banks keep buying all those loans, and they're going to package them once again. This has the Big Short written all over it once again. Now, we're not predicting the markets. I'm just saying that's what this looks like. Banks are running out, and of course, we know there's a gigantic liquidity issue between the overnight repo rate and between the amount of cash on hand and what's going on. So again, once again, the Fed is choking, okay, and panicking. And listen, I don't get a vote. I'm not a voting member. I have no say so. So it is what it is. But again, to me, it looks brutal and not good. And again, that's of course your Federal Reserve, which we did believe would be the major reason why this market will melt down, and we are in the middle of it right now. Now you can look at the last 3 Fridays, the big rally, but we're basically in plummet zone, and still looking at rallies as nothing more. And again, to me, the rally on Friday was nothing more than the dead cat bounce. Bitcoin getting slaughtered. We'll talk more about that in the segment. But the liquidity problem is huge. Okay, now everybody said, I love when they keep telling me, we're in good shape. Everything is great. I keep hearing everybody come out and tell us how good everything is. Well, quite frankly, I don't see it as that good. Quite frankly, I don't see how solid footing we're on right now. I mean, it looked like we were weakening before, and now, with the loss of business we're going to see from the virus or from the panic from the virus, it's going to be incredible. How is anybody going to make any money? Now, again, obviously this too shall pass, and we are not downplaying how strong the market is. But, there's a nightmare on Wall Street about liquidity. I mean, you look at it and there is lots of issues out there. And of course, one of the main stories of investing, trading, the whole system is the liquidity. And of course, we keep getting reassured, but of course, Paulson reassured in 2008, and, Secretary Lamont in 1929 reassured too. And again, I'm not predicting a crash, but I am saying I am seeing a high probability of a shutdown. I mean, of a market breakdown for now. Again, I always believe that 10 years from now, it'll all go away. And that is the big deal at the end. But look at restaurants. Restaurants either closing or their business is imploding. Retail stores imploding. So again, obviously good for Amazon, good for the online community, good for computers, but from an actual standpoint, I mean, nobody looks at the cause and effect of the NCAA tournament being canceled. Tragedy for the athletes. I mean, listen, you've been there, you played college, basketball. You're not on a very good team. This is the first year they've ever made the NCAA. Since you've been there, you're a senior. You don't get to play. But think about, between the NCAA, the NBA, NHL, and baseball right now. Think about the poor vendors. I mean, those are people that's their life. Okay, they don't have big pension plans behind them, big unions behind them. Think about the car parking people. Think about the restaurants around there. Okay, and the same thing now with the Chicago Board of Trade and Chicago Mercantile and Chicago Option Exchange closing this week. I mean, what about all the restaurants around there? What about all the parking garages around there? So again, you stop the flow of money. Okay? You stop the velocity of money in its tracks. I give, as much as I don't typically care for Mark Cuban, I give him kudos for saying that he will take care of the people that I'm talking about right now, and he will pay them as if there was a game. I think that's a class act. So my hat's off to you, Mr. Cuban. I think it's great. Again, I'm not a big fan, but I think it's great that you're going to take care of your people, and I hope more teams do that. I see that Trevor Bauer from the Cincinnati Reds has created a GoFundMe page for not for himself, for the people that are most affected. The players are not affected. I mean, they're affected, but they're getting paid and they've made a lot of money. The people that depend on it and need it to eat. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and I'm happy. I'm happy to see that. But again, there's a lot of issues out here. Okay, forget about sports. Except that, obviously, I got nothing to do now because that's one of the things I love to do. But in the meantime, forget about the sports issue of it. It's just the overall situation of what it's going to do to the economy. Obviously, those people need to spend money. They can't spend money because they don't make it. So again, it is a chain event of events that happens. It's the same thing that's happening to our farmers right now because you can't ship the goods out of the country. So again, they're overloaded to begin with. And of course, it's just, again, it's the old trickle down effect. Now, unfortunately, the liquidity that we were promised from all this ridiculous TARP and QE programs never trickled down. But the issues always trickle down. So that, again, that's just another problem that we continue to ignore because of our wonderful people in the Senate and in the House. And again, I don't care which party you're a fan of, but Pelosi's a dope, and so is the other side. And of course, this whole situation, much of it could have been avoided through, actually caring about the American people. Okay, and again, I'm going for both sides. I don't particularly care one way or the other. I don't think any of them have our best interests at heart. I think they have their own best, and they figure the best way they can scam us. Okay, but at the end of the day, right now, we need to see things done better, and of course, handled better. And we're just not getting what we deserve. Okay, and that's always a problem. And again, I don't care which party you're looking at. I mean, between Bernie Sanders, who'll never get the nomination. You can mark this down. Bernie Sanders I don't care if he's got 5 billion delegates, he will never get the nomination. It'll be Sleepy Joe, and hopefully he'll be able to stay awake long enough to get through the election. He's got no chance to beat President Trump either way. And I understand everybody say, well, the economy's tanking. Nobody's going to beat him. Okay, again, you'll see. Obviously, we'll see in November, we'll see. But that's my opinion. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, March the 16th. And of course, next week at Saturday, the 21st, we're doing our hedging webinar. Boy, don't you wish you were hedged through all this debacle? My people were, and they loved it. Okay. But again, we'll be doing another one. If you'd like to get up sooner, I've got some of the past recording. You can check it out. Don't forget about, our brokerage partners. For futures, we use CTG Group, and they handle all of our letter direction trading. It's really tremendous. They do a good job. You can reach them. And of course, they've got some real exciting new products there as well. So you may want to check them out. If you need any information, just email me and I'll send you a link to find out all the information you want with no obligation. And of course, our brokerage partner at Tradier. Okay, we truly get free commissions. We pay $10 a month flat, no other commissions. So if you're tired of that, it's free, but you're paying 65 cents a contract for an option, or you want real free. If you want real free, just send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. Of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, March the 16th, and what the hell am I going to do with myself? There's no sports on. There's no basketball tournaments. My God, there's no draft show tonight. Not draft show, but the picks, bracket stuff tonight. What a debacle this is for somebody who lives to watch these sports. I mean, again, as I said earlier, I feel bad for the people that are involved that aren't playing. But what about for us gamblers? What about for us guys who like to wager a shekel or two on a game? Okay. I mean, and again, we said this earlier, don't forget the casinos are breaking down too, because again, they've got no business. In fact, in Illinois, all casinos have been shut down. All schools have been shut down. But in Vegas, they've shut down a lot of the sports books. Obviously, get no sports, but they've shut down a lot of the sports books. And don't be surprised if they start to shut down some of the casinos. So again, that's why I go back to, let's just do the 2-week shutdown. In the meantime, ugly week for the markets. Of course, some of us will forget about how ugly it was because of the big rally late Friday. Now that makes a third consecutive Friday that we had a monster rally late in the day. Again, to me, that looks like just a dead cat, just a little rip your face off, late day rally. Now, I'm in this interesting conundrum right here. I hate the market here. I think it's going a lot lower. However, the signals have changed. And of course, I have to get long 3 out of the 4 indexes, which I will, as much as it pains me and as much as I don't agree. But again, this goes back to being able to follow rules of your model, okay, without using your opinion, okay, and making the change. And I will. Listen, we made a lot of money on the downside. So I can't complain. And I whine about oil all the time. We've done very well with oil. So again, I'm not thrilled, but I'm making it clear so everybody has full disclosure of what we're doing. We will be reversing the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ either tonight or tomorrow morning. I would suspect it will be more than likely tomorrow morning. I would expect to see a lower open, so I might be, obviously, depending on if I'm right, it could be tonight. I mean, if we get a big gap lower, I'd probably do it tonight. But again, we'll see. That is yet to be seen. I also want to really see if they're going to actually shut it down, and if they shut down the country, do they shut down the market? So there's a couple of things that I'd like clarification on before I get too overly involved here. But again, we are reversing. Obviously, the rally triggered a reversal. So again, is this about? Again, I don't ask questions. I just follow the mechanical method in which we trade. It's that simple. Crude oil continues to get crushed. Now again, last Sunday when we talked, crude oil was in the 40s, right? And we went down $12 and got down to $27.89. Right now, about 33. Again, the overall glut, the demand is all down. I think the lowest price I paid, and I can't remember, I paid $1.78 yesterday for gasoline, okay, in Illinois, which when you add all the taxes, it's probably like a 99 cents a gallon, right? Again, this is a full-blown panic. Aramco struggling. I believe that the Russians and the Saudis were actually getting together. I don't think they were fighting. I think they're trying to force our frackers out of business by driving the price lower. I would expect to see the low of 27, I think 34 from last Sunday be tested. Now, all that being said, we're short, and we've been short, and it's obviously been a great trade. But from a straight investing standpoint, oil at 25, 26, 27, I would not have a problem being a buyer at those levels. Okay, again, there's certain numbers on certain commodities that get the prices that are just ridiculous, which we'll talk about a couple of those later as well. So again, I'm short, and I will stay short. But certainly if somebody says, I'm going to buy oil at 25, 26, 27, I say, hey, and I'm telling all my farmers and producers that use a lot of heating oil and diesel and oil, now is the time to hedge. Don't wait for the last tick down. You can establish your costs right now. It's time to go ahead and hedge your oil and forget about it. If it goes lower, God bless. But if it goes higher, because again, it will go higher again, and you're protected. So again, this is the time to bring in and roll in that hedge right now. Gold. Wow. Now, for all of you who continue to believe of the safety haven of gold, well, guess what happened? Funny thing happened on the way to safety. You got crushed, okay? Gold it was down about 10% last week from the highs. Been at $17, $17.04 last Sunday night, Okay, now it's at 15.20 or whatever it is. I mean, come on. But again, I've said this and I contend that gold is a hard asset. Gold and silver and platinum are hard assets. Okay, that's what they are. Okay, and we've been short silver forever. And what a nice day for us. And we got short gold into Friday morning. Okay, so again, great day there. And we've been short platinum. So the metals have obviously paid us very handsomely. Okay, but again, I urge you and warn you, do not think they are a safe haven. They are not going to protect your equity portfolio. That's a crock of crap. It always was. I've said it from day one. And Eric, once again, it has proven itself that it cannot sustain. Because why? Because people that are dumping need to go someplace for safety. And they want to get the US dollar, which once again exploded. Okay, so from being in the dregs, we have now reversed. So we're short gold, long dollars, short silver, short platinum. So in the meanwhile, okay, bond markets. Boy, what a big blow off they had last week. I've never seen, again, I've been doing this for 40 years, 10 points they were up at one time. I mean, the bonds have become the most volatile product on the markets, and it's unbelievable. Because again, I go back to the old days. It took, an act of Congress to get the bonds to move 10 ticks in a day. Now they're moving 10 ticks in a minute and 10 points in a day. It's been a while, but we reversed in our short bonds, which is obviously working out very well. We reversed and short the euro currency, working out very well. So again, the things are working out, but those are, those positions. And again, we only follow the mechanical part of it. I have no views, but obviously it looked like from a straight trading standpoint that oil had reached what we call blow off proportions. And wow. But in the meantime, here it is. And interesting now, you're starting to see the notes, okay, are still fairly strong, okay, against the weakened dollar. The weakened bonds. Now, notes are going to reverse for us tomorrow. So we were actually short bonds, long notes. Now we're shorting the bonds tomorrow as well. The notes as well tomorrow. So we'll see what that looks like. And of course, as we look into the agricultural space, what a debacle. Okay, now here is what you're looking at. You see feeders and fat or live cattle got crushed. Okay, limit down. Almost limit down. Feeders were actually almost limit down, limit down. Fats were limit down, and hogs are again breaking down. Now, when I see prices like this, again, we're short across the board as we have been. Okay, but when I see prices like this, if I said, buying cattle at 90, okay, or 89, 88, I'd be a buyer there if I was going to buy it and hold it. Okay. Now, the one thing I do like better about commodities versus equities, okay, if I'm going to say I'm going to step in and buy it, is that there is no CEO, there's no fiddling around with the secretary or the whatever you call them these days. There's no scandals, there's no earnings. Okay. The meats, the grains are just straight, here it is. Now, again, I'm not buying them because, again, I'm using the mechanical methods. But if I were, I wouldn't have a problem owning any of the three at these very inexpensive levels. They can go cheaper, but I wouldn't have a problem owning any here, which goes the same thing for the grain markets. Grains have just been brutalized throughout this whole thing, and they cannot seem to catch a bid. Now, again, I believe they will, and certainly if I were going to buy for an investment, I would have no problem. And in other words, I would have no problem owning the ag space. But in the meantime, we are short everything in agriculture across the board. We are short most commodities because I do think there's a real potential for some deflationary scenarios here. So again, I hate to say that, but that's what it looks like. And Bitcoin has gotten clobbered. It wasn't just 11,000, now it's back to 4. This is probably an area that if you want to step in would be a nice spot to step in. I'm not encouraging you to go. I'm telling you, I own a little bit of the cryptocurrency space, but if I lose it, I will not lose 1 minute's worth of sleep if it all blows up. But again, just watching the way it's trading, watching the levels, which to me all markets the same, I wouldn't have a problem buying it here. And again, we'll see what this week looks like. I don't really know what to anticipate. You've got the Fed on Wednesday with their everything. We already expect them. President Trump tried to give a relatively good, solid report on Friday afternoon, which many will say spiked the rally, but I would think it would be what it was. And of course, you've got according to the media, the high frequency traders, which we'll talk about more in my commentary when we come back from the break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, March the 16th. We'll see you back in a couple of minutes with my commentary. So everybody, look, hedging has been great. Again, we've been knocking the cover off the ball, honest and truly. Futures portfolios, equity portfolios, hedging, everything is just like a rocket ship for us. And we're on the right side of every market right now. It's just been wonderful. If you want to see the hedging webinar, I'm doing one live on the 21st, which is Saturday next week. Or if you want to see the recording and you'd like to get hedged, all you have to do is email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. You can get my mini micros portfolios, which have been rocking it, new highs across the board. Or you can also check out, anything else that I do, the equities portfolio. So again, all of it is up to you. If you'd like to see the recordings, great. If not, hey, no harm, no foul, right? And of course, don't forget about our brokerage partners. We've got CTG for commodities and futures, and they do a great job with the guiding my people, my members through everything. And of course, when you have a problem, you call them, they answer the phone. There is no voicemail. They say hello, and they help you out right away. And everybody's thrilled with the work that they do for them. So again, if you want to get their information, just shoot me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, our brokerage partner, Trader. Trader is truly the free broker. It's $10 a month flat, and then zero commissions. I mean, zero, no 65 cents, no nothing. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Let's get back to the show and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday. You used to say US 30 drag strip. Now there's no drag racing. There's no racing. There's no golf. There's no nothing. Okay. Here we are. So in the meantime, there is business TV. Okay. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, I do a lot of business TV. I'm doing less and less of it because, we don't necessarily agree on opinions of how things should be talked about. I'm an opinion of saying how it is. And I'm of the opinion that I tell the truth. And I basically, as you know that I do here, I give you my positions. So I've got my own sweat in the game. I am the only guy that was on network TV that had his own skin in the game. It isn't representing other people with their money. Okay. I'm not playing with other people's money. I'm playing with my money. Okay. I represent nobody. I trade for nobody because I'm a trader myself. I don't want to. And all the recommendations that I give are in my account. Okay. So I trade all my futures portfolios. I trade all my equity portfolios. But anyways, in the meantime, obviously sometimes the networks want you to suck it up and say something so ridiculous, which I will never say. Okay. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, when oil was approaching 200 the first time, one of the broadcast announcers wanted me to say it was going to 300. I said, "Are you nuts? I don't believe it. So why would I say it?" Well, again, we're once again in that position. They first of all, they talk about the high frequency trading. And I'm speaking of Varney and a couple from Fox. And again, I guess high frequency trading only goes down. Okay. I guess it doesn't push the market. It doesn't propel the market higher. It's only to sell. The algorithms only sell markets. They don't buy them. So how come they never talk about the algorithms when the markets are going up? I mean, again, I think it's a crock. I think they do you a disservice with the way that they report it. For many of the challenges I see is the same few jackasses that come out and talk to you from this. They're from the same company. I won't mention names yet, but they're from the same company. Okay. Selling the same crappy service, but yet they have them on all the time. And they're always, but buy, you got to buy. And again, I'm a big fan of markets. I say buy. If you're willing to hold and suffer through, I would always be. I'm long. What my SEP IRA, my Roth, my money is all long 100% all the time. I'm always hedged, but it's always long 100% of the time. And I'm buying all the time. I bought a lot of stock last week through the automated hedging program we have. But to get somebody who never gives you the converse of the market that there is some real issues out there, okay, I find that very disturbing. I find it very disturbing at the way that the reporters can never say something bad, okay, and because they're more worried about their ratings and getting advertising dollars than about informing Americans, informing their viewers of what the markets are really happening. Of course, the real fact is most don't have any idea how the market functions to begin with. So you can imagine that you're listening to a bunch of dopes that don't get it to begin with. And I think that is the much bigger problem, because many people count on the news to get an idea to help them navigate these challenging times, and you don't get it from those guys on air because they have no clue. They don't want to tell you that. They want to tell you to keep you coming back and keep you happy, which when your 401k is getting creamed, you ain't happy. In the meantime, hopefully they will resolve that. But for now, it's going to be the same old, because again, I've had this issue before with them when they don't want me to say that, hey, I'm short. Okay, that's where I think we're going right now. It's a problem. In the meantime, it'll be what it be. I don't really care, honestly. I just care because I care about the people that are watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. Again, get ready for a lockdown. It could happen. Be healthy. Take care. Have a good weekend. I'd say enjoy the games if there is none. Again, first thing is your family, your health. Okay, the rest will take care of itself. But be healthy. Stay out of harm's way. Have a great weekend. We will see you tomorrow with a Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, we'll see you later.